So, with our foot forward, locked into each other, with a bit of pressure. Don't stand there and give in at all. You always feed a little bit of pressure. If you imagine somebody doing, for instance, arm wrestling, then they always take position and then they'll say take the strain, so they'll take the strain before they go, just bang, and that's it. So it's a similar sort of position. You want to occupy a secure position before you start. So we've got a little pressure onto each other. If I lift my leg, our legs will stick, hence Chi Gerk. But to be honest, even if I do lift my leg, but Sifu Abid Mahmoud decides not to lift his leg, my leg will be trapped and pushed off centre. Very, very simply. So to kick the groin is already quite difficult. But the slightest of lifts from Sifu Abid Mahmoud takes my foot clearly away from centre, and in my trying to do so, leaves me vulnerable. So what we're going to look at now is how we can take a superior position over your partner, your training partner. So I'm going to press into my partner and feed and feel response. So my partner will feed back, and then once I feel a bit of pressure back, I will change my angle. Now by changing my angle, I can push strongly into his joint, but he can't push back towards me. So I've now got, by having a slight angle, not quite 45 degrees, I've now got an ability to press into his knee joint. So the key would be that just like with the hands, what we call toyin, which is to follow the centre line or chase the shadow, as I move, my partner must respond to the change in angle and equal that out, so I no longer have that. If he can outcome my angle, then he can press with his own knee and break into my knee joint. And now as he breaks into my knee joint, I don't really have a secure position. So essentially what I must do is change legs. So for the first time now, as he's got a superior angle on me, I'll switch and try to take other position. Sifu Abid immediately responds by changing back again. So what we'll find now is as we're feeling our way, moving in, that we're trying to find superior angle. So I'm going to try and take inside gate or outside gate or move. Now during these moments, just like if you were doing judo and the like, if you were moving your feet, you could obviously try and sweep and knock a person over or catch. The danger would be that if I tried to lift my leg to kick, if we're doing this correctly, I lift my leg to kick, I'll simply get jammed and knocked over. So as you can see quite clearly that to try and kick him now is extremely dangerous. So standing on one leg is a pretty pointless and fruitless exercise. It doesn't take you anywhere, can you see? So it just takes you into very, very simple basic moves. So essentially from this position here, we're going to offset the opportunity for people to kick you rather than deal with the actual kicks themselves, because prevention is certainly better than cure. So from this position here, if I can secure a position on contact, now I can take a chance to knee around and straight into that knee area. And the perfect striking area for the knee is in an area where your partner's middle finger will reach as he reaches down with a straight arm. Straight in the midline is called the iliotibial tract, and this is the area that you will strike into that will cause the maximum pain and damage. So that's the exact area. If I get it a little bit further round, it's not as painful. If I get it towards the front, it's painful but not as bad. But essentially almost where that seam is in the trouser. So from this position here with my foot in good position, I might now try to tread on his foot to control it or stamp onto his foot. So a very simple move would be a simple stamp. Can you see the idea? So from here, a simple stamp with the heel down into the foot can cause considerable concern. If your partner responds by immediately taking his foot out of the way backwards, now he creates the space for front kicks, groin kicks, knee kicks, or knee strikes. So essentially, if your partner panics when you do this movement here, he leaves himself vulnerable to being attacked back. Now, Wing Chun kicks towards the legs are essentially done with the heel of the foot, but kicks to the body, I would advise that you kick with the ball of the foot. Now I realise this breaks away from tradition, but essentially what you will find is that unless you're fighting another Wing Chun partner who keeps himself bolt upright, that to kick with the heel is simply not practical. You will not be able to extend your heel beyond your toes to hit the target on a person who is leaning forward. So if a person is here leaning forward, if Sifu Abid was now to raise his foot to kick me, he can't kick me easily with the heel. He really can't. But he can kick me with tremendous power, making good perpendicular contact, even by rising, if I'm leaning forward and throwing a punch, by kicking with the ball of his foot. So when you see some of these techniques, you might feel they break away a little bit from tradition. that may be the case. However, you've got to look at basic practicalities, which is you're not always training to deal with another Wing Chun partner. You're trained to use this maybe across different systems, and therefore when people move differently, you have to be able to adapt to what is happening.